Financial intelligence is vital to succeed in today's world. Whether you're in business or whether you're the average person who wants to position yourself for greatness, understanding financial intelligence can be the major game changer. Today, I'm going to be looking at two important concepts. One is you as a subject matter expert, and two is how you can uplevel this body of knowledge to create multiple streams of income. The information I'm going to be sharing with you today is very much some of what we do to help our community. But just before we get into today's program, I want to reach out and talk to the rising stars in business. So you set up your business in the US, you're operating in 50 states, and you want to grow and expand your vision. But one thing is holding you up: access to capital. In the event that I'm speaking to you and what I'm saying resonates with you, you start a business, you believe in what you're doing, but you need access to capital. I want to share with you that we can literally help you through that process. All right, on our platform, we're able to connect you with financial institutions that are going to help you to access debt or equity, credit or creative financing, or hard money lending to move your business ideas forward. So, in the event that you are that person that need access to capital, I want to encourage you to reach out to me or to go to the description of this program, and you will see the links. And those links will put you directly in contact with some of our partners that are going to set you up to access capital. All right, so this is for any rising stars in the US that needs the much needed capital to grow and scale your business. Now, I want to come down now to the Caribbean. You may be in the Caribbean, particularly so Guyana. Now, in Guyana happens to be one of the fastest growing country in the world. And who don't want to get on to some of the big opportunities that can present themselves? Now, in Guyana, we have some major players that are contributing to that economic development. And because of the development that is taking place there, they are now looking to expand their operation. Now, with expansion in mind, here comes employment opportunity. Now, you may be a pharmacy technician who have a passion for interacting with people, interfacing with people, moving and shaking and making great things happen. Well, this is an opportunity for you to be gainfully employed with a major player in economic development, a major player in human resource development. So, in the event that you are a pharmacist technician who wants to do marketing, I want to encourage you to capitalize on this opportunity. You can send your CV to the email that is shown on screen. If you look at the bottom, you will see global healthcare, global health supplies at gmail.com. Do send your email here, do send your CV here, and someone will reach out to you to talk to you about the employment opportunities. Now, let's get right back to today's program. Today, we're discussing big ticket money habits, why multiple streams of income. And I do believe it's an important topic for us to have. And sometimes I think that many persons, you wait too late in your life to start asking yourself, how can you position yourself to be a big ticket thinker? You're entitled to this. All right. You don't need to wait on anybody's permission to position yourself to be a big ticket thinker and to learn, apply, and master the big ticket money habits. Let me start with some simple concepts. One of the first thing that you want to do is to ask yourself, how can you become a subject matter expert? Yes, how can you become a subject matter expert? And you owe it to yourself to invest the time, the talent, and the resources to help yourself to become a subject matter expert. Now, there are many different pathways that you can use to become a subject matter expert. And let us look at some, because in your efforts to become a subject matter expert, as you nurture your big ticket money habit, should never be an emotional decision. You want to stress test whatever ideas you're going to be coming up with. But before I come to stress test, let's look at some possibilities. So you want to help people. That should be one of the motives behind your big ticket money habit. You want to make a commitment to add value. You want to make a commitment to fix problems. So you are analyzing the best way in which you can do this. For example, you can become an SCP, a sales communication professional. And why becoming an SCP is so important? Because every business that is on its way to success, every business that wants to position themselves with success, they need an SCP. Why? Because the sales communication professional provides essential services. The sales communication professionals, they has a unique body of knowledge that every business needs. For example, the SCP really helps you to understand how to do the data collection. And can you imagine getting into business and you don't know who's your ideal client? Can you imagine getting into business and you don't know how to connect with your ideal client? Can you imagine getting into business and you don't know if your ideal client is willing to pay for your products and services? The SCP, the sales communication professional, really helps you to gather this body of knowledge so you're able to make informed and educated decisions. So can you imagine here that you have become a subject matter expert in this field and you can speak to businesses about making informed and educated business decisions? There are many rising stars in business that get into business and it's barely a speculation, it's an assumption. you know, you don't have the data. You're speculating that you're going to reach an ideal client. You're speculating that you're going to make impact. You're speculating that you're going to cash flow optimize. It's merely a speculation. And to do business the right way, it's important for you to get speculation out of the window. The skill set that you need to do this is what is going to come from the SCP, the sales communication professional. This is a unique term that we have coined. And of course, if you want to know more about the SCP, I encourage you to go to the website, which is bestsellerportal.org. Click on products, you're going to see books. And I have recently released 11 volume of that book titled Master the Sales Communication Process. That's going to help you to understand so much more of what I'm talking about. So as you position yourself to be a big ticket thinker, nurturing big ticket money habits, one of the things that you really want to invest in is to that of becoming a subject matter expert. So SCP is only one area in which you can become a subject matter expert. How about becoming a subject matter expert as a capital market specialist, CMS? How important is this? Yes, you can become an expert in capital markets. Why? Because when we look at businesses, research is showing that many businesses fail largely because they do not have access to capital or access to the right financial instruments. And we have thousands, we have millions of businesses that struggles every year to make to access capital to grow and scale. What if you are this subject matter expert? All right, what if you are this subject matter expert? And the demand is very high here. We are interfacing with financial specialists, and some of these companies allocated over $1 billion US to rising stars in business. We are interfacing with other financial institutions who have allocated, close to $500 million to businesses. That is showing that the demand for capital is high. What if you become a subject matter expert in this field? Can this set you up to become that big ticket, money master? Now, you don't need anyone's permission to position yourself to become that big ticket thinker. You owe it to yourself. And you need to see yourself as being entitled to this. I was talking to an extremely talented young lady. She has a master's in finance. And one of the things that she was talking about is similar like carrying the camel to the well, but you can't make the camel drink the water. What she was talking about is that you can provide the best training programs for people. She's a real estate specialist. But in spite of how good your training program is, if the individual in their minds do not see themselves as being entitled to success, entitled to change, and entitled to development, if they don't have that mindset, guess what? There's nothing that you can do to help them to come into their greatness, because in their minds, they see themselves as being incompetent. They see themselves as being lack and limited and, not worthy of achieving greatness. So I'm trusting that that doesn't relate to anyone that I'm talking to, because I want you to put yourself in the position of strength where you believe in yourself. All right. You literally believe that you were born to achieve greatness. All right. Because it is your mindset that is going to really set you up for success or failure. So I'm saying to you that to become a big ticket thinker, to learn, apply, and master what we call in the big ticket money habits, one of your first things that you need to do is to set yourself up to become a subject matter expert. This is you invested in you. This is you believing in you. This is you having confidence in yourself to know that you can start a business and scale a business and possibly take that business IPO. It is you having to believe in yourself. I can believe in you, but my belief in you doesn't really matter unless you really believe in yourself. All right. So you want to invest in yourself. So the second concept that we're looking at, and then we're going to move straight into multiple streams of income. I'm going to be showing you that once you become a subject matter expert, how you can up level this into multiple streams of income. So you can become an expert in the capital market and specialist, the CMS. Now, every business needs access to capital. But let me just paint a picture of what a subject matter expert in the capital market space looks like. This expert is one that can be a micro expert in finance or a macro expert in finance. For example, in the financial market, you have the boutique intermediary, which is more the micro, and you have the global intermediaries, which are more macro. And what am I saying here? There are specialists in the financial market that deals with perhaps a single financial instrument, while on the other hand, you have those that deals with a variety of different financial instruments. And you could make a decision as a starter where you want to begin your process. But let me go into this just a little bit more. A subject matter expert understands capital markets, financial instruments. And then it makes sense as a rising star in business as you set yourself up for, to become a subject matter expert to help businesses to understand multiple types of financial instruments. And as we look at financial instruments, you're going to see things like debt financing, and debt financing is where you traditionally get from uh, financial institutions like the bank. You have credit financing, and credit financing comes from multiple sources, including the banks. You have equity financing. Equity financing comes perhaps from private equity investors. It comes from various types of individual also. But each of these instruments operates different. And as an expert, you need to know this because the information that you can share with a potential client as an expert is exceptional. Your client may be buying debt instead of equity. Your client may be taking, debt instead of 0% APR business financing. And can you imagine this, that you as an expert in this field, you are able to say to your client that, yes, you have access to debt financing, but if you access credit financing, business credit, we can help you to achieve this at 0% APR. Now, what am I saying here? As an expert, what you have done here is simply remove the interest rates on capital. Now, let's take, for example, that you are borrowing $1 million and you're paying 10% per annum. Just an example. It means that if you're able to remove APR for 12 months on that $1 million, you have helped the client save $100,000. Wow. So as an expert here, you're really able to help the ideal client to not only access capital, but access the right capital, and in the process, save $100,000 annually. That's a lot of savings. That's 100,000 USD. All right. So becoming a subject matter expert in the two fields I've just looked at can really set you up for success. And without a doubt, this is going to position you to become what we call a big ticket thinker. It's going to set you up to, master what we call big ticket money habits. So having that type of expertise is something that every business who are in the business of making money, optimizing their chances to cash flow their operation is going to be successful. Now, this is not all that it takes to be an expert, but with this simple knowledge, you can see how you're helping to save your clients. You're able to add value and you're able to fix a problem. Now, many rising stars in business, they do complain about the cost of capital. And as an expert, you would always say that you have control over how much you're paying for the capital, but don't let me get there yet. So you're able to help the client remove APR, annual percentage rate. How do you think your client is going to see you? You didn't only help them access capital, but you help them access capital at 0% APR. And you also help them. The third benefit here is that you also help them to not pay $100,000 in interest rates. How do you think your client will see you? Because you are a subject matter expert in this field. They're going to lift you up. They're going to want to do business with you. They're going to want to refer others to you. So as a subject matter expert, and we train you to become this type of subject matter expert, you're all set to win. And this is us at stage one, understanding financial instruments. And there are multiple types of financial instruments. Yes, depending on where you are in the world, it may or may not be available. But the reality, as a rising star in business, you may have barriers to your success. But your role as a great leader is to try to see beyond those barriers. We talk about proactive leadership. A proactive leaders, they think ahead. They see beyond problems and they take informed action to achieve desired results. So regardless of the barriers that are before you, with the right exposure, with the right training, you're going to be able to see beyond the problems. Think ahead and see beyond the problems and take informed action to achieve a desired end results. I believe in you. It's time that you start believing in yourself to become the kind of leader to move this type of process and processes forward. So you can become a subject matter expert in this field, and by understanding capital, it's going to set you up to become that big ticket thinker. But let's move to step two. I'm doing just a little deep dive into financial instruments. So you now know that it exists, but what are the pre-qualifications to access? All right, there are pre-qualifications to access. As an expert, position yourself to become an expert with financial instruments. Four things you should understand is capital markets, pre-qualification criteria, strategic leveraging techniques, and debt mitigation strategies. You need to understand this as an expert. A whole lot, yes, is not taught about debt mitigation, but of course, if you need to learn this body of knowledge, we teach you all of this. All right, so when you become a subject matter expert, you really understand the capital market ecosystem. So there's a lot to unpack here. However, let me pause a little bit here. I'll come back to the subject, and I just want to talk a little bit about businesses. Now, you may be a business in the US. You start your business, you're excited about doing business, but then, bam, the brick wall that you reach is that you don't have access to capital. You don't have access to adequate capital to move the vision forward. Well, if you fall into that category, we can help you. All right? We can help you. Now, we can help you access debt, credit, creative finance, and hard money lending. All right? We can help you attain all of this. But here, the beauty of what we can do for you also. It's not only about accessing the capital, we can help you access business fund funding at 0% APR. So everything that I'm talking to you about today, we can actually do this for you. So if you are that type of person that really need the capital to grow and scale, so your business, reach out to us. Now, whether you're in real estate or intend to get into real estate, whether you have a new business or a mature business and you need access to capital, I want to encourage you to reach out to me. I'll be so happy to connect you with the key players that's going to set you up to access capital. Along with this, I want to share a little bit about what's happening in the Caribbean. In the event that you are in the Caribbean and you need capital to grow and scale your business, I want to share some information with you. Now, we have health supplies that is going to be providing job opportunity for you. So you may be a pharmacist technician that is really passionate about your job, because as a pharmacist technician, it's not just about providing, the right medical supply to people. You see beyond all of this. You know that the job that you're doing is really touching lives, it's really saving lives, and you're passionate about what you're doing. Now, you're not satisfied with just this. You now want to go out and you want to meet with people, you want to get involved in marketing. If you see yourself as that people person, if you see yourself as that connector, if you see yourself as that brand ambassador, Well, there's an opportunity for you to be part of a very dynamic company. All right. You have the global healthcare supplies that is creating opportunities for you. So if you want to take up a job, and I encourage you to with this organization, all right, you can send your email to this email that is shown on screen, and someone will get to you to talk to you about employment opportunity. Just prepare that email and to submit your CV to the email shown on screen. All right, so with that said, let's get right back to today's discussion. So you've done the heavy lifting and you're now a subject matter expert, either a SCP, this is one example, or a capital market specialist because you understand how the capital market works. Now, I talked earlier about stress testing your career. And as you set yourself up to be a big ticket thinker, as you set yourself up to master what we call the big ticket money habit, you want to stress test that. Why am I saying stress test it? Before I come to the multiple streams of income, you want to know that what you're doing makes a whole lot of sense. It doesn't make sense to invest, hundreds of dollars, thousands of US dollars into a career path only to recognize that in a few years it's going to become obsolete or there's no major job opportunities that exist in the career path that you want to go on, or if even job opportunities exist, they're not well paying job opportunities. You want to stress test all of this. So it's important to be able to do this. And there are several things that we look at when we are stress testing, whether you're a business model or your career, whether you're stress testing anything, there's certain basic things that we look at. And let me just quickly go through this. So whether you're setting yourself up to be a sales communication professional or a social media influencer or a capital market specialist, whether you're setting yourself up to be a subject matter expert in any of these fields, you want to stress test it. You want to make sure it makes sense. So how do you make sure that it makes sense? There's a concept that we call market relevance. So you want to clearly establish that whatever path that you're going to be going on, it is relevant to people. You want to ensure that you pause a bit and you do that type of analysis, because you can spend many years studying a particular career and a whole lot of money only to recognize that you've been investing in stress because there's not much job opportunity. It's not a well-paying career, and it requires certain work hours that you are not prepared to give. So you have stress, but that happened because you didn't stress test. And I'm fully aware, because of the research that we are doing, we have millions of people across the world going down a rabbit hole, a career path that they have never stress test. You need to stress test it. So you want to be certain that it's relevant, and what's the life cycle of its relevance. You want to be certain that your career path is going to be viable. And how do you know it's viable? There are key indicators that you need to look at. You need to be certain that you are going to be reaching an urgent and immediate need. And how do you know that? You don't want to take on a career path only to recognize that there are limited job opportunity, and because there are limited job opportunity, there's no urgency and immediacy for the skill set that you have. That's not what you want. You want to stress test this. So you're setting yourself up to become a big ticket thinker. You want to learn and understand how to, master the big ticket money habit. Anyone that is attempting to position themselves to really master that big ticket money habits, they need to have the information. This is not something that you want to be guesstimating about. All right. You don't want to do this. You want to set yourself up for success and to do it in the right way. You owe it to yourself to accomplish this. So, stress test. So, I'm just giving you some high level overview of what of things that you should be doing when you want to position yourself to be that big ticket thinker, to learn, apply, and master what we call in the big ticket money habits. So let's get into the juicy part now. So you have committed the last year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 years to become a subject matter expert, because it's not an overnight process. It takes time. It's a process. But regardless of the time, you made a choice that you're going to commit time to become a subject matter expert. And I want to say kudos to you. There are many of you, you may already be a subject matter expert, but how can you up level this skill? And that's what I'm going to get into right now. You can up level this skill into multiple streams of income. So as a subject matter expert, whether you're an SCP, a sales communication professional, or you are a CMS, a capital market specialist, or you're an influencer, there are multiple things that you can do to create multiple streams of income. Now, if you're not thinking multiple streams of income, why not? In today's global economy, we are seeing that your single source of income is totally inadequate to help you to embrace the quality of life that you know you deserve for you and your loved ones. So if the single source of income is not doing what you expect it to do, if it's not inadequate, why are you not thinking about multiple streams of income? Why not? So let's go into this. As a subject matter expert, you can become a social media influencer. Yes, you can become a social media influencer. As a social media influencer, all you're doing is packaging your information, packaging your data, and you're making it available to an audience across social media platforms. And several things happen here. You increase your visibility, you increase your reach, increase your chance to make impact. And when you understand what you're doing, you're able to monetize this whole platform. So that in itself creates a secondary source of income. But because of your increased visibility, reach, and impact, guess what? There are more people knowing about you. And that in of itself opens up door for more people to want to reach out to you to utilize and benefit from the exceptional talent that you have demonstrated. All right. So those are options that are available. And I'm happy to say that we have designed a very unique program. All right. We call the program the GIP Initiative, the Global Influencers Partners Program. And what the Global Influencers Partners Program does, it really helps you to understand what it takes to become a social media influencer. Again, this too is not automatic because there are many moving parts that you need to understand. It's not just about getting on camera. That's an essential part of it. But you need to understand SEOs, search engine optimization. You need to understand keywords. You need to understand thumbnails, because sometimes the first thing that people see is not you. They see your thumbnail. It's just like a business. The first thing that you see about the business is not necessarily the boss. You may see the exterior and the interior of that business, and then you connect to the boss. So you may be the boss in terms of how you articulate yourself around various subject matter, but on the social media platform, you are not the first thing that they're seeing. They're seeing your building. In this case, the building is your thumbnail. And if the thumbnail don't have the appeal to the ideal client, guess what? It undermines your reach. So I'm not going to get into all of that today, but what I'm saying to you is that as you set yourself up to become a subject matter expert, that's the foundation to leverage as a springboard to create multiple streams of income. And we can help you with this. We have been working with multiple businesses across the world on these content, and we are happy to introduce these concepts to you. So you can become a subject matter, you can become a social media influencer, and we have a blueprint that can really set you up for success in that regard. Now, the next concept that I want to share with you is that you are a subject matter expert. Why keep it the best, secret the world has ever known? Why do you want to do that? What else can you do to generate income? But the next thing that you can do, what if you set yourself up to become a best-selling author? What if? How possible is that? Well, let's break past one if. What if? You are an expert. And when you have the right mentor, the right course, the right supportive community, guess what happened? You get the right information, the right support to make great things happen. You are a subject matter expert. Whether you're a SCP, whether you're an economist, whether you are a capital market specialist, why not write a book? Why not? Particularly so when writing that book serves many purposes. It's your business card. Now, people don't only have a piece of paper that helps them to understand your name and your title, your position, and some project activity that the business is actually doing. With that book, they really get a deep understanding of how the mind works. And because of this, you're opening doors. You're positioning yourself to be known, liked, and to be trusted because the fact that you are now doing the book and you're now moving that book to a bestseller list. And guess what else? It becomes another source of income. All right, it becomes another source of income. So you're a subject matter expert. You see, big ticket money habit. Some simple shift. You're some simple shift, and you're really, you're being set up now with what we call the big ticket money habit. Let me say something. Yes, I'm talking about money today, and some people don't like talking about money. Well, that's your problem, not mine. And if you got a problem with me talking about money, it's your problem. I don't care a damn. It's your problem. Now, you don't need permission from anyone to set yourself up to become a big ticket thinker. Why not? You see the results of your single source of income. Why not try something new? I'm not telling you to leave your job. Keep doing what you're doing, but you want to elevate your skill set, to that point where you have mastery with what you're doing. You have mastery. All right? You are a subject matter expert. And now that you're a subject matter expert, let's bring in why multiple streams of income. Why not? Why not? And if you recognize a lot of the streams of income that I'm talking about, some of them can be passive income, because when you write that book becomes a bestseller. That book is selling itself. But I want to go deeper into this. As a subject matter expert, as a best-selling author, there's so much. You can do, national tour that can generate a lot of book sales and a lot of income. You can do global tours that can also generate a whole lot of capital in for you. You can do university guest lectures. That is also creating additional income for you. So look at the possibilities that exist. So you need the right mentor, you need the right coach, whether in business or not, that can really help you to see the vast possibilities that exist for you to become that big ticket thinker. Vast possibilities. A lot of success is not what you can see with the eyes, it's what you can see with the mind. I want to repeat this. The reason that you're going to fail because you train the mind to you just train yourself to see with the eye. They say, seeing is believing. Well, I can say this. Very often the things that you see, you really don't understand what you're looking at. And let me put it this way. You see a beautiful building, but mentally you cannot phantom the process to get that building up. And because you're not an expert in engineering, you can't phantom, you can't see it. So you can't repeat that process very easily. Same thing here. You maybe see persons who are successful, but because you don't know the process that they're using, you're not an expert, you're not well placed to position yourself for greatness. And that is why I start at becoming a subject matter expert. That's a springboard that's going to set you up for success. While you need to train the eyesight, you need to work on the mindset. There is where you have clarity. There is where you have, processes. There is where you have systems. You systemize your processes because you now have clarity of a pathway to position yourself for greatness. So we're talking here now about multiple streams of income as a subject matter expert. You can also become a keynote speaker. Keynote speakers are paid thousands of US dollars just to show up and, do an hour of presentation, a half an hour of presentation, and you're walking away with 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 US dollars because you're an expert in your field. Becoming a subject matter expert can create all of these possibilities for you. Why not? Why not? Can you see all that with your eyes? No, these are things that you need to mentally process. If you can't do it for yourself, get a mentor, get a coach that can sit with you and show you the great possibilities that exist to position yourself and for greatness. All right. Now, what else can you do to generate multiple streams of income? You're an expert, and let us suppose that you're working with a company. So weekdays, you're all consumed with work. But what if you are able to do some evening virtual training or some weekend, physical business summits? Virtually, you might be able to attract, let us say, 100 persons. So you have 100 persons paying you, let us say, $1,000. Just call a figure. $1,000 to sit into your classes. Guess what happens there? You just generated $100,000 USD because you're that type of expert in what you're doing. If you charge $500, it's still $50,000. If you charge $100, it's still $10,000 that you have generated in an hour. Big ticket money habits. If you don't know how, because you're not the subject matter expert, I always emphasize this: get a mentor and get a coach. Get a supportive community that really want to see you strive and succeed in the things that you are passionate about. All of this is possible, but the reason you're not going to see it in most cases is because you are not the subject matter expert. You are not trained in this field. All right, I'm sharing this information with you because I've spent, most of my life now in business. I've written this book that is shown on screen, Master the Sales Communication Process, because we really want to give you the A game in selling your products and services. At this time is no testing. We have done this for quite a number of years, and we know what works and what doesn't work. We know how to optimize the process. So I'm showing you multiple ways in which you could generate massive amounts of disposable income for yourself. But do you have the leadership skills to make it happen for yourself. Now, if you don't have that leadership skills, my advice to you is don't sit in procrastination for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Get a mentor. It's not going to hurt you to get a mentor, get a coach. This is your life we are talking about, and you owe it to yourself to take your life like a piece of clay, and you want to mold that clay, into your image and your liking. And with the right mentor and coach on your side, the end product can be something that is pretty prestigious. But the last thing that you want to do is to procrastinate about the bright future and the great potential that you have inside of you. You need to commit every ounce of energy that you have to activate the richness that you have inside of you. Why not? I've just shown you how to generate an additional $100,000. In the worst case scenario, at least you're walking with $10,000 per hour. You imagine that you're doing this, twice a weekend. At the lowest level, it's $40,000. You're doing this twice a weekend for the next month. That's 160,000 US dollars that you're generating for yourself. Is it possible? It's possible. But again, you got to work in your mind. I spoke with this young lady not so long ago. She's a real estate investor, and she had allocated, I think, over $2 billion to, first-time home buyers and real estate investors. And she was right. She said that, if people don't get the mindset right, that well-building journey is compromised. And I'm going to say the same thing to you. Your mindset needs to be right. And I quickly just want to share this with you. We have a very unique program that we call Pathway 5. And Pathway 5 is really going to set you up to make an exceptional breakthrough in your life. Pathway 5 really helps you to understand what is the science, the theory, and the practice of wealth creation. The science, theory, and practice of wealth creation. Very often when you hear from some professionals, you get the theory. You get the theory, not the science. But we are going deep into the science, and we're interviewing thousands of people from around the world. All right. Why? Because we're collecting data, and we were giving you that data so you could make better, smarter business decisions, better, smarter life decisions. All right. So I've just given you a number of strategies that you can use to position yourself to learn, apply, and master what we call the big ticket money habits. Become a subject matter expert. And if you listen to me, that's 2 basic steps I've talked about, What is you becoming a subject matter expert? If not, why not? It's your life you're talking about. If you don't want to become a subject matter expert, well, that doesn't matter for you. But if you love yourself and love your life, invest in you. Invest in you to become great at something. It don't have to be, the sales communication professional, although every business needs a sales communication professional. And it's a good field to be in. You can call your own shots because you understand things that every single business needs to understand. But you can go and do anything else. You can be a cosmetologist. You can be, expert at something. You got a lot of, they got the ocean of possibilities out there. Just be an expert. All right. You can be a capital market specialist, understanding debt, equity, credit, creative finance, and hard money lending. Why? Because every business needs access to capital. When you're the expert in this, you know how to navigate this. You can, from the time you start negotiating, the money start flowing to you because you know how to help people access capital, so you win there. You know how to help them to reduce APR, annual percentage rate, so you can negotiate some gain there. You know how to also help them to negotiate an early exit, which is going to save them, on APR, depending on the capital that we're dealing with, so you make some money there. You're an expert here. But that is not all. I've shown you multiple steps that you can also take to generate multiple streams of income. But it begins with you becoming the subject matter expert and using some of the other tools that I have talked about. We talked about the possibility that you can become a social media influencer. Now, don't take this for granted. There are things that you should and should not do as a social media influencer. We have a beautiful program titled the GIP Initiative, which is the Global Influencers Partners Program. And my God, you need to know this because this is going to set you up to become exceptional in personal branding. It's going to set you up to be exceptional in public relation. It's going to set you up to achieve so much of greatness that you really owe it to yourself to get this body of knowledge. All right. So I really, really trust that you would have enjoyed today's program. And today's program, it's about to end. But just before we end today, I want to talk to businesses in the US. So you get into business. Perhaps it was an emotional decision. Perhaps you did not think through from the beginning to the end. You know, all of the needs that you need to move your vision forward. And then you recognize that, hey, you don't have access to market. Hey, you don't have access to capital because to get access to the market, you need visibility, but then you don't have the capital to pay for visibility. And you're stressed because you don't have access to capital. You don't know how to access capital. Well, I have good news for you. I want to encourage you to reach out to us, all right? Or look at the link in the YouTube description, and you're going to see the link to my book, and you're going to see another link that's going to set you up to get to the financial institutions where you can now access the capital to grow and scale your business. Again, the kind of capital that you can access is what we call non-collateralized, and 0% APR. No interest for 6, 21 months or 24 months. That should be music to your ears. All right. So if you don't know how to access it, get a mentor, get a financial specialist that can talk you through this. Now, if you don't have access to the financial specialist that can talk to you about what I'm talking to you about, you know what to do, right? I don't have to tell you what to do. You know what to do. So with that being said, I also want to come to the Caribbean. What I've just shared is if you're living in the US, 50 states throughout the United States, and you need access to capital, we can set you up. All right, we can set you up to access the much needed capital, and we can help you do so much more. Now, coming back to the Caribbean, we are now in the Guyana. Now, we have global health suppliers that they are currently providing an opportunity for work. Global healthcare supplies. In the event that you're looking for an exciting career, this is not just a job, but this is an opportunity to be involved with an exciting career. Why do I say exciting? Because you as a pharmacist technician, I'm talking here to pharmacist technicians, you have spent quite a number of years to understand a particular skills. You're a subject matter expert. You understand the impact of medicine on people's lives. That's a very, very technical field. But you love what you do and you want to grow in your space. This is an opportunity because you can take your pharmacist technician experience and you can now up level it to the level now where you are a marketing professional. All right. You're the best voice to speak to buyers because of your knowledge of what you're doing. You're now helping the buyers to understand, this is wholesalers, why they should buy your product, because your product adds value to the final consumer. Your product fixes a problem for the final consumers. And you're really on in the field providing education to big businesses. So if you think that this is something that you would like, an opportunity to, interface with people and educate people, make impact and create change, I want to encourage you to use the email that you're seeing on screen, prepare your CV and send it out. Great opportunity awaits you. Don't lose out on this opportunity. All right. So with that being said, again, I want to, pause a bit and I want to say a big shout out to our community. Today we are reaching over 50 countries. We have, I think, it's over 50,000 subscribers that have subscribed to this two platforms over the last 4 months. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting this platform. And I'm still seeing that we have about 70% of those who are looking, you have not yet subscribed. So do remember to press that subscription button so you will be the first to get these content that we are bringing to you on a regular basis. Remember, believe in yourself. And my last words to you today is that you owe it to yourself to become a big ticket thinker. You want to learn, apply, and master what we call the big ticket money habit. Don't wait till no one's permission to, become this big ticket thinker. Take your life into your hands like a piece of clay and say to yourself, I'm going to be the author and the maker and the shaper of my destiny. It may be hard, but get a mentor, get a coach, get a sponsor, get a supportive community that you know is there cheering you on. You owe it to yourself. If not, why not? Be blessed and see you on Friday for another broadcast. We're going to be looking at Friday leadership, processes, and systems. And you need to learn all of this when you want to master who you are. Be blessed. See you soon.